Hey folks, Puddin here with you today, and I want to show everybody something that may look a little bit overwhelming, but actually end up being really simple if you want to do something to enhance the outside look of your home or have an inside project to make your home feel a little bit more inviting. So, what I'm talking about today is some of the Airstone product that you can go and get. Okay, so Airstone is a faux rock product that uh, is actually really simple to install, and a lot of people look at it and think it's a little bit overwhelming. But I'm going to show you some easy things you can do and ways to install it, and things you need, and how easy it can be. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going to cover the outside front of our garage with this Airstone product. Okay, so a few things that you're going to need when you go to do this project, and like I said, this is really simple stuff to handle. Okay, um, but there are a few things you're going to need. Now, one, if you're doing an outside project, then you need to make sure you have an outside concrete backer board, something that that is allowed to get wet and can withstand the outside elements. Okay, because airstone, like any kind of rock, is porous, so water will get through this. Okay, so you want to have something um, that the concrete backer board that is allowed to get wet or have be exposed to outside elements. Okay, number one. Now, a couple other things that you're going to need. Of course, rulers, tape measure of some type to measure off. But another thing that's going to make this a little bit easier, the Airstone does claim that you can use a hacksaw to cut off, which you can. Um, but if you're looking at cutting and being more efficient with your cuts to be able to cut more at one time, then I would suggest getting some type of tile saw, because it will still cut really easy. It doesn't have to be wet. It can cut dry, but it will cut. It will make the cutting of your stones more efficient. Okay. Now, the Airstone product itself comes in different color coded packaging. Okay. So when you're looking at this, I'm going to show you guys that the products, the shade of the stones themselves have different color coding on them. Okay, so the packaging, the lighter colors are red, and your darker shade colors are either going to be a blue or a black. Okay, now this helps when you're trying to alternate your colors throughout, and I'll show you this the way I've alternated some of the colors that I'm currently working on, and you see how I'm going back and forth with some of the colors, and that's the way that you can define which colors are which through the coloring of the packaging. Now, something else that you want to do before you do this that makes it a little bit easier, you want to lay this stuff down maybe on the ground, and I prefer to lay it on a blanket to keep from damaging anything. And you can see this small section that I've done here. So I have laid this out to where I already have my pieces laid out. That way I can see what the color combination is going to be before I actually hang it on the wall. Now this, one thing you can do is you can have the different packaging laid out in front of you, and then all you got to do is move some of your blocks around to where you have an alternating pattern to try to make it look as random as possible with your color coding. Okay, so I've already got these measured off to the size that I need to cover this section of wall. Now, doing that really is going to make hanging them a whole lot quicker and a whole lot easier. So let's get ready to hang these, and I'll show you guys how easy it can be done. So when you get ready to hang these, you're going to use, for outside project, you want to make sure and get This is Loctite, the PL Premium, 3 times stronger. This stuff is made for outside projects. It's an adhesive, it is made to adhere to the concrete board and the stone. It's also made for outside weathered conditions. That's very important if you're doing something outside. So this, I would say, would be the best bet on something that's going to be outside. Now, when you go to hang this stuff, another thing you want to keep in mind, that, like I said earlier, water does get through this. It is a porous product, okay? Now, when you go to hang this stuff, you want your bead of adhesive to be in a vertical motion. And I'm going to show you that. So when you go to hang this, like I said, you want your bead to be in a vertical motion. That way when water penetrates, it has somewhere to go. If you go horizontal and the water penetrates, it's going to hold it there. You want water to be able to go through and drain if need be, okay? So I put my beads, I'm going to put about 2 inches apart on this, okay? Now, I've already marked off where my line is on what I'm getting ready to hang to show you guys, okay? Another thing you want to do as you're going along and working in the section, periodically, you want to make sure you're staying level, okay? So, what I've been doing around after each section is that I make sure and take my level, set it on there, and check to make sure that I'm still level. Make sure that I'm not deviating from my original line at the very bottom where I started at level mark. Always want to do that. So, here we go. So, I got an 18-inch section marked off, okay? I've already got these cut. I've got them measured. So, let's get ready to hang them. So, here's where the bead comes in, all right? And you're simply going to take the adhesive, running about a 1/4 inch bead, Okay, now, I've got my adhesive there. Now, the reason I'm working is kind of a small section is you don't want this to set too long before you start putting your blocks on. You want to have your blocks close by. You want to have them laid out exactly how they're going to go on, all right? So now, I'm going to start grabbing the blocks and throwing them on there. Starting at the bottom, I'm just going to take them and start stacking them on and push them down on there onto the adhesive. You want them pressed onto the adhesive pretty good. Now you've got a few minutes after you push these on here to make adjustments or move them around if you need to. But it does make it a whole lot easier if you already know where they're going, and you can just set them on, stack them on there, push them in, and go. you want to try to alternate your big and small blocks along with the length of them, and you want to try to avoid having any seams meet together, just like you would when you're, say, laying a hardwood floor. You want to avoid your seams meeting. Now, once I have them all on there, next thing I want to do, I want to go back through and kind of make sure I press on each one pretty good. Make sure it's really good and pushed into the adhesive. All right, so you see, just a couple of minutes, I got a pretty good 18-inch section of the stone placed, got it set up there, and overall, when I'm finally done with this whole project, it's going to look pretty good, I think. So anybody that is looking to do something to kind of spruce up the outside of your home or garage or even in, they could easily get some of this Airstone product and make their place really stand out. It's really easy to use. Once you get a rhythm down, it takes no time at all to get it started and get it going. So if y'all have any questions at all, please throw a comment down on the bottom and let me know, and I'll try to help you out. It's not hard at all. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to throwing the rest of this up on this wall and call this project done. Y'all have a wonderful day.